Welcome to Out from the Horrorbox. I'm your lost host, Dom. In this episode, we take a look at the 2024 American supernatural horror mystery film produced, written, and directed by Chris Stuckmann in his feature directorial debut, Shelby Oaks. In 2021, YouTuber and film critic Chris Stuckmann signed on to write and direct a horror film for Paper Street Pictures. Based on the online marketing campaign about a fictional paranormal team named the Paranormal Paranoids, as well as Stuckmann incorporating his own upbringing with his sister, who was shunned from the sect of religion Jehovah's Witness. Production stalled early on due to insufficient funds and a potential strike. Turning to Kickstarter, Shelby Oaks became the most funded horror film project, crossing the $1 million mark from over 11,000 backers by March 25th, 2022. After hitting a few more snags, like the SAG-AFTRA strike in 2023, Shelby Oaks had its world premiere at the 28th Fantasia International Film Fest on July 20th, 2024. Now, let's find out what happened to Riley in Shelby Oaks.
Do you need help?
She finally let me go.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Paranoids. Today we're taking our first foray into the abandoned town of Shelby Oaks.
I've been searching for Riley for the last 12 years. I know my sister's not dead.
Bodies were found outside of Shelby Oaks. Riley Brennan is still missing.
The last night I saw her, she said she saw a man standing in her window, staring at her. Mia. You live alone out here? Nope. Where is my sister? Riley.
The film starts off with a documentary about the YouTube team called the Paranormal Paranoids. We see the last footage of the group does not show who appeared at the house the team was set up in as their base of operations as they explored the abandoned town of Shelby Oaks. 3 of the 4 were found dead, with one, Riley Brennan, missing. As the documentary team concludes an interview with Mia Brennan, the sister of Riley, a strange man shows up at Mia's doorstep. The man, Wilson Miles, shoots himself, and Mia sees he is holding a mini DV tape with Shelby Oaks written on it. Withholding the tape from the police, Mia watches the tape, which shows footage that had never been seen before. It shows the paranormal paranoids as they started their trek through the town and finding the abandoned house. We also see that the killer and kidnapper is Wilson. Mia decides to investigate for herself after seeing in the footage a figure in the window behind Riley, and this leads Mia to conclude that an unseen dark force called Tarian is behind her taking. Mia is also convinced that Riley is still alive. Arriving in Shelby Oaks, Mia is led to a house with an elderly woman living there. This is Wilson's mother, Norma, a follower of the incubus Tarian. Mia discovers a shrine to Riley and Mia. She also finds Riley, still alive, and her newborn baby boy. Norma attacks Mia, who is able to kill Norma, successfully saving Riley and the baby. Mia is interviewed as a wrap-up by the documentary team and recounts a time when she was young and seeing the entity that haunted Riley her whole life. She heads up to check on Riley and the baby, but sees Riley attempting to smother the baby. Mia sees the entity in the window and pushes Riley, causing her to fall out the window and be torn apart by devil dogs. The entity appears and rests its hand on Mia's shoulder. So I got to see Shelby Oaks early, before everyone else, before the release date on the 24th. And, you know, I almost didn't get in. Like, we were like, me and my friend were like this. You can't see my fingers, but they were like an inch away from being like not able to get in because they let everyone in, right? And they were like counting like The Last of Us because there was like maybe like 20 of us left in line. And they were like, I think they said something about like 12 left or something. And then they counted like the people in front of us. There's like a group of 3 and then 2 or whatever. And we were right there. And they're like, oh yeah, I think they only have like a couple more seats left. So literally, like, I think we got the last of the seats. Actually, I think there might have been one more seat next to me and another one somewhere else. But there was only like 4 seats left. And we got a cool little pin and a little thing. And so, you know, there's no real, like, trailers to watch or anything. So we just went in straight, you know, got to watch it. And so I'm going to give I'm going to give a spoiler review now. So if you haven't seen the film, go check it out. It's in theaters now. And let's just get straight into it. I honestly think this is a pretty good film, especially coming from first-time director Chris Stuckmann. You know, most people will know him from YouTube. He's a film critic, and I think he's obviously just like most film or horror people on these different social media sites and, you know, places to watch and get like reviews and people's reactions. I think he's seen enough to where he's like, I know what kind of works, what doesn't work, and obviously he's got to, you know, there's things you got to throw in there. There's certain tropes you can't just get over. Like there's jump scares. Like there's some things that are a little bit like, oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna happen. This is gonna happen. It's not like it's not predictable. That's one good thing. I do like that it does start off like as a documentary at first, and then it moves into being, you know, the film proper. Overall, I think for his directorial debut, you know, him writing it and everything, I think Chris Stuckmann did a pretty good job. Honestly, I think I'd give it 3.5 stars. The direction was pretty good. The acting was actually on point. It didn't look like a first time film. It looked really good. I'm glad that Mike Flanagan, you know, could see something in him and, you know, put time and money into this production. You know, give advice and stuff. Then like the Kickstarter stuff, like the campaign, like I'm glad that they were able to raise enough money to finish to get the film finished, you know. And I kind of sucked that I heard about this film like 2-3 years ago, right? And I've been wanting to see it just because I'm not a huge Chris Stuckmann fan, but I used to watch him a while ago, and then there's some things where I'm like, I don't really agree with a lot of his opinions all the time. But I'm not going to sit here and hate it just because he did it. There were people that I could hear already once the movie finished, like you could just hear them saying like, "Oh, well, that was ridiculous. Oh, they just used the same shot." They're just like dumb, stinky, fat, long-haired, four-eyed nerds up above us, and you know they think they know everything about film because, oh, I'm sitting here on my podcast. No, wait. But yeah, but I don't know. I really hate when like they don't like they're not looking at it for like what it is. It's like this person had to put their time, their effort to get this done, and they did. I mean, like that's saying more than you, right? Like sitting there trying to criticize every little thing. It is really good. I will say it's really scary. Like, it is really scary. There was a jump scene that really got me. I love the idea with the devil dogs and like seeing the entity that like Riley had seen when she was a kid and tying it back all together. I think maybe he could have pushed a little bit more about like the whatever kind of cult or whatever of Tyrion it is, and maybe explained it a little bit more. I think there was something to do with like the husband too, but I feel like that was something that they eventually cut out. They just make you think like the way that they shot it and the way that the guy acts, and then like some of the photos we see later, it makes you feel like, is he part of it? Was that supposed to be something in it? I don't know. And it could have been at some point, and then they eventually were like, well, we got to cut this because we just don't have the money or the time to. And I do know that originally screened at like 100 and something minutes, and it was cut down for subsequent viewings. So I do think some things were cut out of this. Not sure what. And I would definitely love to like revisit that and see what was. And honestly, you could probably do a sequel where there's something more about the town of Shelby Oaks. That's what I think is good, is that I kept wanting to call the main character Shelby Oaks. Like, oh, where's Shelby going? But Shelby Oaks is the name of the town that this is all happening in. I think I kind of feel like he maybe should have called it something different, because I feel like that's what a lot of people are going to do, where they're going to be like, what happened to Shelby? No, Riley. Who's Riley? The girl who went missing. Yeah, Shelby. No, Shelby Oaks is a town. She's a town? You see, I feel like you could just go on and on. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought, like I said, for a first time, it's good. I feel like it's really one of those ones you could put on later for like the spooky season. Like once it starts playing on like a Netflix or Hulu or Prime or whatever, I say go ahead and watch it. I mean, if you haven't seen it now, go see it. Stop listening to me. But I really think he has a pretty good. I really would love to see what he does next. I hope if he does decide to continue in this universe, it'd be cool to see more than just beyond, like, not just tie it back and we get just a sequel again where it's kind of the rehash of the first one. I would love to see something more in the universe if he's going to expand on it. But I do want to see what else he could come up with. I'm not saying he's like a Zach Krager or anything, or a Jordan Peele or anything, but if he were to announce like, oh, I'm working on another film, I'd be like very interested to see what he does. But other than that, guys, thank you all for listening. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast to get every new episode downloaded. Do you have any personal or fictional paranormal, supernatural, or unexplainable stories? We'd love to read them on the podcast. Send your stories, recommendations, or anything else to horrorboxpodcast@gmail.com. Want to show more support? Follow our socials on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, or our YouTube channel, all at Horrorbox Podcast. Until next time, leave abandoned towns abandoned. This is Dom, signing off from the Horrorbox.